Alyssa loves her because really, this is clearly a daddy's issue Barbie right here. That's the pretty girl that had all the daddy issues, and that's what it did to her. It's Carrie post-prom. Although that was kind of more like Barbie. That was kind of more like a mommy issues Barbie. She needs more blood. Somebody call Lego, tell them to make more bloodied figures. All right, so what's the notes on this? The lampshade element, which I was just putting together, is actually a cupcake element from the Lego Friends sets. Yeah, so that's the second Friends element that we've had just on this floor. So we have the roller, which, like I said, is one of my favorite parts. I actually bought that for my minifig that I take on trips with me. I have the blue one for him. So now there's a... But this is, yeah, it's an inverted cupcake from Friends. Mommy issues Barbie for sure, yeah. You hope the baby elephants next door go to bed soon? They're running up and down the tree. Ooh. Do you have neighbor children that are loud? Or is it thundering out? I see there's some pretty nasty weather across the country today, so I'm just thankful it wasn't here. Today was actually beautiful here. We're like 68 degrees, light breeze. Lots of sun. It was a good, pretty day out. There it is. Wait, where is she? She's even creepier with the damn teddy bear. You got ice cream after work from a local place that has all kinds of handmade flavors. Nice. Really good handmade flavors are amazing. We have a place not far from me called the Ice Cream Machine. Easily the best handmade ice cream ever. I had blueberry and goat cheese ice cream. That's not something... So, blueberry and goat cheese. There's... so you shop at Stop and Shop. They sell at Stop and Shop a goat cheese rolled in little tiny Maine blueberries. That's what that's making me think of. It's like the ice cream version of that, and it sounds amazing. Mac, how are you doing tonight? How's your week been? That's it exactly? Nice. That stuff goes good on a charcuterie board, let me tell you. All the tasty goodness. Two celebrity deaths today. I heard Ray Liotta. I didn't realize Andrew Fletcher died. Wow. Yeah, I saw the Ray Liotta thing. That sounds... I wonder what's going to come out about Ray Liotta's death, because they just said he died in his sleep. I mean, I knew he had health issues in the past, but he was apparently filming a movie. He was... Where did they say it was? Costa Rica, I want to say? Yeah, he was only 67, I know. He was so young. You know, I think that way now. I mean, God willing, my mother lives another 6 months. She'll be 92. So when I see 67 in my brain, it's like, you know, I know my mom's health issues. It's like 67 is like super, super young to me. Do I want to become famous? No, I would prefer to live in darkness, despair, and misery most of my life, but thanks. Thanks, Brian. Look, it's about life choices, kids. Fletch also died in his sleep. He was also 60? All right. Was today the rapture and no one told us? Yeah, Brian is the only one allowed to be famous on Twitch. Only Brian. None shall pass. Rockin' and the rollin'. XQ. I know Shroud's kind of killing it right now. Nowhere near. What's the name? Critical Role's doing pretty alright. Pretty alright. Drop the Doritos. So for those who follow or pay attention to the other random stuff I do, we recorded a new episode of Friday Push to Prod today with an absolutely amazing social media manager and community manager and influencer manager who's currently with Stoic and was previously running social strategy for a little indie RPG called Elden Ring. It was a really great conversation. If you missed it, it will be on the YouTube channel tomorrow, and it'll also be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everywhere quality podcasts are found. They just don't realize that we keep sneaking ours on there. Yeah, Critical Role's at 45K. Shroud's at 20,000. Asmongold did 270,000 with a depth trial. That is something that actually really small YouTubers have been doing lately and exploding. They're getting millions and millions of views per video by just basically doing commentary about the Amber Heard trial. How are you not in the Discord? I don't know. Must be those daddy issues. You are always welcome in the Discord. Trivia block party? We're going to rock it? All right. I was talking to someone today about the Florida Man stuff. They did not believe it was a real thing, so I actually had to produce an image of the card. What? Like basically do live commentary on the Amber Heard Johnny Depp defamation trial? Oh no, that would be totally on brand for you, Brian. I mean, look, if Disney is okay with FaZe Clan, you can do whatever you want at this point. I no longer understand the meaning of family friendly and brand safe. Disney hooking up with FaZe Clan is like, I'm still trying to get my brain around that one. Hey, Michaels, how are you? We also got a Florida Man going. Yeah, Deanna. If you don't know who FaZe Clan are, they're a really popular esports team for the most part. They're not brand safe, generally speaking. And should I ignore FaZe Clan or is that? So FaZe Clan is, yeah, if you're into esports, you probably know who they are. I would not consider them brand safe. I have actually recommended against their use a few times to clients just because they wanted really family friendly. And then Disney goes and rocks my world by starting a partnership with them. And now I don't even know which end is up. It's a little crazy. Shozen, yeah, you didn't hear about that? It's mostly a merch deal, but it's just two brands. I'm sorry, it's the Ritz cracker on the Oreo. That's what it is. You have a funny story I heard about them, actually. Forgot to... All right. Was Hydra busy? Right, just go for Cutie Pie. All right, here we go. It's time for the feud, late night edition. Name a child's game adults change the rules to when they play. All of them? Name a child's game adults change the rules to when they play. There are 7 top answers on this card, by the way. 7. Chutes and Ladders. That would be a very different game if adults played. Surviving the Day. Ooh, chocolate cake. I did not have chocolate cake. Candyland? Candyland would be a very different game. So far, Twister is number 4. Twister was in fact number 4. Shozen says slip and slide. Yeah. A couple of these I don't consider children's games. Huh. Cops and robbers. Sexy cops and hot robbers. Hide and seek. Hide and seek is actually number 1. Matt, hide and seek is number 1. Poker, but is that a children game? So card games is the number 2 answer, but I mean, I don't know. It seems such a broad answer. I guess it's any and all card games. It's a whole different meaning to Pokemon, that's for sure. Yeah, it feels overbroad. So number 1 is hide and seek. Number 2 is cards. Number 3 is Monopoly. Number 4 is Twister, which I know Slug got. New twist to Magic the Gathering. Heck yeah. Here's where it starts to get weird. Tag makes sense, but here's 2 that I don't consider technically children's games. Maybe teenagers, but not children. Spin the Bottle and Truth or Dare. Tap that land. I don't consider Spin the Bottle and Truth or Dare as children's games. They feel like they're for older kids, not what I would consider children. Because like you guys, like when I heard that, I was like slip and slide and cops and robbers and hide and seek. Yeah, those are tween games, like late middle school, right? Not children's games, exactly. All right, backside. In one word, oh geez. Remember, these are after dark, so here we go. In one word, I really wish Spud were here right now. Describe your first sexual experience. In one word, describe your first sexual experience. Spin the bottle. Oh no, that's more than one word, right? Abstain. I think, no, it was first kiss, yeah. I don't know, Brian. I'll accept abstain as either your answer or your refusal to answer. I feel it works for both. There you go. Awkward. I think awkward works for this one too. I'll go with that. All right. So I'm pretty sure it was for first kiss as well, but awkward is actually the number 1 answer. There are 7 answers, though. Awkward just happens to be number 1. Disappointing is probably one. Disappointing is number 6. Which I feel good about. I'd be sad for people if it was like number 2. Quick is probably on there. So fast. Fast is on here. It's number 4. Any other guesses what's on here? I feel really bad for the people that answered like with the number 7 answer. So the number 1 answer was awkward. Number 2 was awful. That's worse than disappointing. Number 2 was awful. Ugh. Number 3 was scary. Number 4 was fast. Right? Quick. Number 5 was amazing. So at least it made the list. There you go, Shozen. Number 7 is disappointing. And number 2 was funny. I mean, number 8 was funny. Only 2 people replied. I really want to know what happened there. I, I've never heard anyone refer to their first sexual experience as funny. But I feel like there's a story in that, and I kind of want to seek those two people out now. It really was getting depressing, wasn't it? It's like all these people with miserable first experiences. I know. But it just feels like it's one of those things where you ask it and you can hear the person go, you know, funny story about that. And then just they're off and running, right? Oh, you know what? This is one of those really high-end boutique hotels. You know how I can tell? I'll show you. This is like super high-end boutique right here. Big money stuff going on. Then we'll do some 80s trivia. The noises he's making while trying out his Oculus? Uh-oh. Is this some not safe for work stuff going on? The moans were pretty hot. They stock vodka in the minibar. Oops. Wrong item. Not gonna lie. No, see, in the penthouse suite, because that's what we're building now, you get the fancy chocolates on the bed. You get the fancy box of chocolates on the bed. That's when you know you're staying in a quality joint. I love the fact that all three of them, we were talking the other night while we were building the other beds. I don't think I've ever encountered a bed build in any modular that had the same build twice. So I think every bed, regardless of how old the modular is until now, and even now that I'm thinking about it, like the town apartment 3-in-1, the bed build's different. I don't think I've ever built the same bed twice. They're all different. There's 3 unique bed builds just in this set. The chocolates are the first trap for them to charge you. Could be. Could very well be. I think you got to be strong, though. You know? Just got to be strong, not cave. Don't hit up the minibar. Don't hit up the chocolates. You got to be careful now going to hotels. Even a bottle of water, man, they'll stick you for it. It'd be like $6. I've been in hotels where it's just like a normal bottle of like Aquafina. And if you don't read the little note under it, you end up with $6 on your bill, and then you're trying to explain that expense. I mean, you spent $6 for a bottle of water. Technically, I didn't, but... Yeah, that's exactly right. You got to watch out, because they will. End up with the expensive ones. All right, 80s trivia. Now that we got our fancy chocolates on the bed. I've seen that, and it's like, no, charge me if I eat it, but just opening it, it's like, well, you know, you may have replaced it. So if I replaced it, who gives a shit? As long as I replaced it with the same thing. I've had that conversation with the concierge once. It's like, if I ate a Snickers bar and I put back the exact same Snickers bar size and type, why do you care? There was a moment of weakness Then a moment of sanity, and I put it back. All right, here we go. 80s trivia. In what year did the Berlin Wall fall? In what year did the Berlin Wall fall? So I'm calling bullshit on their answer because it says 1990. In reality, it was 1989 when they first knocked down and knocked open sections and nobody cared. They didn't actually start dismantling the wall until 1990, though. So, I mean, that one's... It's 80s trivia, and to have the 1990s as an answer is... That's a party foul in my book. Big party foul. Yeah, that, you know, when you saw the guys up on the wall with the sledgehammers, to me, that's when it really fell. Or at least what it stood for fell. It may not have actually been the demolition of the wall, but only a few cracks and some sections taken out and people moving freely back and forth between them with no one really trying to stop them. To me, that's when the thing the wall signified ended. Right, exactly. When no one got shot for breaking it down, that was really the end. At that point, it was just an edifice. It wasn't an actual obstacle anymore, from what I could tell. So yeah, I would definitely consider that the wall fell at kind of thing. All right, things they don't teach you in school or Texas. Or Florida, for that matter. Your favorite movie is 1, 2, 3 with Jimmy Cagney? You highly recommend it. I'll have to go look. I will have to look that up. I have a lot of things to watch this weekend. People have been recommending some really cool sounding stuff, so I got to go digging. All right, here we go. According to scientists, what is the maximum height that a tree can reach? And just in general, what is the maximum height for a tree? It's an interesting thought. I mean, clearly there's some physics at work here. Things can only get so big. Say 280 feet. You're not far off. You're about halfway there. I'm going with 280 feet because Slug Biker used big words. The use of big words always indicates superior knowledge and certainty. You don't remember the actual limit, just the reason why it's limited? That counts. Knowing why it's limited is just as important as knowing how limited. Arguably more. So according to the fine people at whoever these people are, 430 feet is kind of like max action. Why do pigs roll around in the mud? This I know. This I already know. Yeah, I didn't think trees could get that tall either. I was thinking in the 200, maybe 250 range. But 430 feet. Agent is back from the metaverse. And he says to cool off. Are you cooling off after some time under the hood? Because Deanna was in here saying you were making all sorts of grunting and huffing and puffing and... Sunscreen. Actually, that's a pretty good answer. That makes, like, sense. You got 89? It was hot. Deanna distracted me with discussion of how hot your moaning was. Why do pigs roll around in the mud? Because pigs cannot sweat. So instead they roll around in mud, which provides protection against the sun and keeps their body temperature at a normal level. And I imagine sunscreen probably is you know, according to the answer, it's a general protection from the sun. Because the day star is evil. The day star causes cancer. We don't like it. I know they do get sunburned. So it does function. The mud does function as a kind of sunscreen. Totally. Not evil in and of itself. Without the day star, we all die. Yes, but with the day star, we all die. And eventually, the day star is going to expand and swallow us all. So, at best, I think the day star has questionable motives. I think the day star's motives are sus. We all die anyways. That's also true. At this rate, yeah, that's true. The day star is the least of our worries at that point. At this point, it's very much a non-concern. All right, what else we got? Here we go. Next up. Oh, look. Oh, okay, this is great. If you've been watching the trial, then you know the answer to this question. This is wild. Johnny Depp altered his tattoo that said Winona Forever when his relationship with Winona Ryder ended. What did he change it to? Great. I feel like I'm on a trend now. It's like, let's talk about Depp and Heard. Let's talk about the tattoo. I'm gonna get all the kid views now. The tattoo used to say Winona Forever. Then he had it changed after they broke up. What does it say now? And it did actually come up in the trial. The fact that I know it came up in the trial, I'm a little bit ashamed of that. So the tattoo was changed to say Wino Forever, which Amber's team did attempt to use to show that there was something wrong with him. What else we got? This is worse. A, why do people know this? B, why do people want to know this? How long is a gorilla's penis during an erection? I got nothing. Wait, did that really... Brian says 4. Agent says 5. Cat says too long. Too big. Slug says 3. I was building what now? All right, just remember you asked me to repeat it. How long is a gorilla's erect penis? In inches. Don't throw me any metric bullshit. They're small by comparison to their body size. And most primates are. Look. Can I speak to all the gorillas in the world? It's okay. All right? It's okay. Don't let it bother you. Size isn't everything. An erect gorilla penis is 1.5 inches. Again, in my brain, I'm like, what scientist is out there risking life and limb? And if they're knocking the gorilla out, I have a whole other series of questions for you. Poor gorillas. Get some more Buildorama. Brothers in arms. All right, here we go. The wildly antiquated and grossly out of date Trivial Pursuit. Men are the ones with a measuring stick, which is why my theory is that the Lacoste cave paintings are by women because lots of hands, no penises. Or gorillas, and they were just, let's not talk about this. We have really big hands. Which, again, proving myths left and right. Gorillas got big hands. In geography, what ocean does the Gulf of Panama lead into? One of the other. What ocean does the Gulf of Panama lead into? Slug says Pacific, Otaku says Pacific, Cat says Pacific, Thea says Pacific. 1.5 inches, Agent. I'm saying Pacific because the other side is Caribbean. Yeah, the other side would be the Caribbean. But it's also it's the Gulf of Panama, the Gulf of Mexico would be on, I guess what would be the Caribbean side. But yeah, it is the Pacific. It flows into the Pacific. In entertainment, what TV comedian demanded, "Now cut that out"? God, that's going back. Sherman to the Wayback Machine. Way back in time. Way, way, way back in time. We'll see. Slug says Jack Benny. Dave Coulier. I can break out the Mr. Peabody references. I remember the original. That used to be one of my favorite shows because it was actual, like, occasionally informative. So it was actually Jack Benny. Now cut that out. Rochester. You got some of those Peabody and Sherman and Rocky and Bullwinkle on DVD. Really? I haven't seen any of the real Peabody and Shermans in ages and ages and ages. There was like a brief revival, but it was kind of like that early bad CGI animation. Oh, they were so terrible. Wasn't there a movie? Didn't they make a movie that was equally bad or worse? I think there was. In history, what city saw 42 die and $44 million in property damage in the summer of 1967? Yeah, I never saw it either. I vaguely remember it being a thing that happened. With the emphasis on vaguely. Didn't David Tennant play Peabody? I don't remember. Like I said, I didn't see it. I know it exists. Yes, Slug, 1967. 42 dead, 44 million in property damage. You have no idea? Los Angeles? No, it was not Los Angeles. It was Detroit. It's the Detroit riots. You can't have Rocky and Bullwinkle et al. Without Edward Everett Horton. Facts. In arts and literature, what 1920s female writer is credited with the term the Lost Generation? What female writer is credited with the term the Lost Generation? It is not Parker. Good guess, though. Yeah, actually, it is Gertrude Stein. It's like really early, but yeah, it is. Gertrude Stein. Very, very, very early for her. May even be one of the earliest things she did. June 4A for Rocky and Bullwinkle. Yep. Science and nature. What is the most common color of lapis lazuli? And I'm probably saying that wrong, but that's how I've always said it, so. Blue, 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 blue. I'm blue, I don't need up. was really wondering if anybody was going to say something other than blue. You only know because of Minecraft? It is blue, by the way. All right, Brian. I'm betting everything on you. You're my champion for this next one. In sports and leisure, who won the Triple Crown in leading the Boston Red Sox to the 1967 American League pennant? It is literally the only old-timey baseball name I know that isn't Babe Ruth. Who cares? I couldn't agree more, Mech. It's not my thing, but it's on the tip of your tongue. Actually, that is the correct answer. Bob, tip of the tongue. He was rapidly traded to the minor leagues, but for a brief moment, he was there. You had me at Triple Crown. You lost me at Red Sox. Carl Yastrzemski. Carl Yastrzemski is the correct answer. Yeah, I know. When it's that threw me too when it said Triple Crown and then it went baseball. I was like, all right, there's a Triple Crown in baseball? Whoops. We fling parts off the building. Oops. You saw his son once at a AAA game. You assume it was his son? Yeah, what are the odds of it not being a relative of some sort? I would think very low. Very, very low. But, I mean, end of the day, you never know. I mean, I'm sure it's not an utterly unique name. But I would also say it was probably pretty rare. Late 80s, yeah, that timing would work. Would definitely work. And now what I've been waiting for. Florida Man! It's part of me that kind of wants banjo music for this. Here we go. I'm going to give you 3 headlines. 2 are true, 1 is false. They're all from Florida, so good luck with that. A. Florida woman arrested after hiding marijuana in a child's lunchbox. Good parents in Florida. B. Florida man rescued from sea clinging only to inflatable sex doll. Please, God, let that be true. C. Florida man claimed to be the Lord Satan and explodes himself. A, B, or C? C is false. C is false. We got 2 votes for C. You You're going to go with A is false? Otaku's bucking the trend and going for Florida woman arrested after hiding marijuana in child's lunchbox. Shozen says Florida man rescued from sea clinging only to inflatable sex doll is false. And most of the chat seems to think that Florida man claimed to be Lord and exposed himself. Is false. Why would he? Man, I don't know why people in Florida do the shit they do. There's a lot of stuff that goes on in Florida I don't want to know why they do. I'd be perfectly content not knowing they do it at all. And regardless of why he had it, isn't he glad he did?
Let's face it, this is not the worst thing you've caught me doing.
Hyena Plus, thank you for the raid. Welcome on in, everybody. Drop a hello in the chat. Say hi if you're new here. Welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. Tashimi Me? What a great name. Hi and welcome. We are hanging out building the boutique hotel. We're playing some trivia. We're also playing a little game we play from time to time. Something new we've added. It's called Florida Man. I kid you not, it is a real and actual game. Doing really well. They have cards and everything. Deanna, thank you for gifting that sub to Local Brick Shop. Hey man, how you doing? So I'll reread the question so you guys can play along, all right? I'm gonna read you 3 Florida Man headlines. 2 are true, 1 is false. Here we go. Everybody seems to think it's C, so I'm going to tip you off into what the prevailing thinking is here. Right? Tsushimi, thank you for the follow. Rex, thank you for the follow. I appreciate you guys jumping in here. Disco Duck, I absolutely love that name. Deanna, thank you for gifting that tier 1 sub to Hyena Plus. Thank you. So, hey, Blasted. Welcome. One of your favorite people? Sweet. I like when people's favorite people show up. Another gifted sub from Deanna to Blasted Days. Thank you so much. Days, rock with those emotes. We got some good follow emotes for those of you that just followed. We got some fun animated and regular sub emotes, including our psychedelic rave peep bunnies. So here we go. Florida Man scares you, Disco Duck. You'll like this then. You ready? Here we go. A, Florida woman arrested after hiding marijuana in a child's lunchbox. B, Florida man rescued from sea clinging only to an inflatable sex doll. And C, Florida man claimed to be Satan, the Lord Satan, exposed himself. A, B, or C, 1 is false, 2 are true. 1 is false, 2 are true. Deanna, thank you for those gifted subs. Guys, if you got a gifted sub from Deanna, Goddess of D's, please say thank you and consider paying it forward in the future. Sashimi Me says false is A. Jurassic says B. Local Brick Shop says A. So, C, Florida man claimed to be Lord Satan, exposed himself, is true. For a while, the chat was really leaning towards C being the false one. That's sadly true. B, Florida man rescued from sea clinging only to inflatable sex doll is a cause of great disappointment for me. That is false. I really wanted that one to be true because I was trying to figure out how they would post that picture in the paper. And finally, A, Florida woman arrested after hiding marijuana in child's lunchbox, which seems like just one of those things that is entirely too plausible, is in fact true. So who was it that said B? Jurassic said B. I think Shozen said B too, didn't he? I thought he did. You said B, Blasted? Nice, good call. Yeah, that's a new ad. I actually had a cousin. For the record, I'm originally from Florida, so none of these apply to me. I got away before they all went nuts. Agent, thank you for gifting that sub to Rexy. Thanks for giving that sub to Rex is a dinosaur. Boom, boom, shakalaka, boom, boom. And if you get the was not was reference, you are absolutely my people. Who is boom booming? Do you know the song? Wait, who understands the reference boom boom shakalaka boom boom? It's a 90s thing. Did you float away without needing rescuing? It is not. Although that's a good guess. A good guess. It very good. Dice, you can be my friend. It is by a group called Was Not Was. It's called Walk the Dinosaur. It's a 90s tune. That's why Rex is a dinosaur made me think about it. Is it in Madagascar, the movie? Nice. Yeah, that's an old song. It's a fun song. That and what was their other good song? It was actually just on the radio the other day. I heard it probably the first time in 10 years. Spy in the House of Love. Look up Was Not Was, Spy in the House of Love. Great song. Where can you get it? That is a fantastic question. My cousin got it for me. Where's the box? I would imagine you could get it on Amazon. So it is actually a game. There's a board game. We just use the cards from it. There's a board game with markers and the whole deal. So you could play it in a group setting IRL if you wanted to. It just makes for a fun kind of like breaking the conversations. But yeah, it's probably, I would say Amazon. I don't think you could find this at Target, maybe Walmart, but almost certainly Amazon. Did you see it at Target? Could be. I don't put anything past it. I mean, that's where I got the Family Feud game. That's where the Family Feud came from. It was Target. In fact, it's on sale. I just noticed today or yesterday. It was on sale for $13. Walk the Dinosaur was in the Super Mario movie? Really? That one and I Feel Better Than James Brown are great ones by them. Was Not Was, I think, Was Not Was. Was Not Was. Underrated at the time, I think. You weirdly looked at that game last week and thought about picking it up. It's got some crazy shit going on. I mean, we'll do another card real quick. So here's the three. Ready? Remember, 2 are true, 1 is false. A, Florida woman and group of followers believe her son is the second coming of Christ. That sounds like some people I knew in Florida. B, Florida man arrested after pile of burning pot plants at home attracts attention. Or C, Florida man spits half-eaten food into woman's mouth during road rage incident. Yuck. Ew. Nasty. So of those three, A, B, or C, which is the lie? Which is the fake? B has to be false. Florida man arrested after pile of burning pot plants at home attracts attention. Brickshop says that's false. Blasted says A, Florida woman and a group of followers believe her son is the second coming of Christ is false. Dude, it is Florida. Come on. You don't know. All ridiculous. I'm picking B. Why burn them? I mean, that's what the DEA does. They burn them. Yeah, it could have been an accident. Good point. Cat says C. Florida man spits half-eaten food into woman's mouth during road rage incident is false. All right, so B, Florida man arrested after pile of burning pot plants at home attracts attention is true. That's true. Seems like a waste of money, but okay. I mean, the cops are going to burn it for you. Why bother? Yeah, the only problem is the giant smoke signal and the funny smell for a mile and a half. C, Florida man spits half-eaten food into woman's mouth during a road rage incident is disgustingly true. So gross. Yeah, but Florida man, fair. And the false headline is Florida woman and group of followers believe her son is the second coming of Christ. Look, I know some Florida women, and most of them believe their child is the second coming. So, just saying. 2 for 2. All right, you know what? I'm gonna do this because we got new folks. All right, so you guys can do a round. We usually have these as redeems. They can be redeemed a couple of times a night just for like shits and giggles. So this, like I said, I did get at Target. It happens so often it's not news. It's true. All right, here we go. Time for the feud. Top 4 answers are on the card. Are we ready? Name something people do with an engagement ring when the wedding gets called off. Name something people do with a wedding ring when the engagement gets called off. Slug says sell it. Slug's just ringing up the register. Cha-ching. Money, money, money. You don't get crap for them, though, if you sell them. That's the thing. There are few things worth less than a used ring. Legally, you're supposed to... I don't think it's a legal thing, Slug. I think it's customary. But I don't think there's... I don't know. I haven't seen that episode of Judge Judy. So, we could ask Jerry Springer. He might know. Pawn it, give it away, pawn it, reuse it. That's very, very romantic of you, Sushi. Sell it, throw it away, sell it, pawn it, take it off. And do what with it, Rex? Rickshop says return it. Any jewelry's terrible return on value. It's true. You do better if you don't try to sell it as jewelry and just sell it for scrap gold. Throw it back in their face. I like it. I'm down. Shove it down the bastard's throat. Wait, what if it's the woman? Wait, we're just assuming the guy's like... Come on. What if the woman called it off? You don't know, you've never been engaged? So the number 1 answer is sell it. Number 2 is pawn it. Because remember, pawning it isn't exactly the same thing as selling it. Number 3 is give it back, return it. And for all you aggressive ladies out there, number 4 is throw it. So there you go. Vindication. And the backside, the other half of this card. What might someone do soon after a bitter breakup? I got a feeling throwing stuff's going to be a very popular answer here. Eat ice cream. I don't need you. I got ice cream. I don't need a man. And yes, destruction of his property. Eat ice cream, party, set fire to stuff, poop the bed. And we're right back to the depth trial. Get rid of pictures. Hey, I like that one. I don't know, but seems like you're better off not getting married if it's not going to work out. Better to find out before the wedding. Fair. Trash the other person's possessions. There's some vindictive women in this chat tonight. What the hell? Cut up their stuff. Get rid of their stuff. That actually sounds worse than cut it up. Get rid of it makes it sound like their stuff and the body are going to end up in a landfill somewhere. What was the question, Agent? What might someone do soon after a bitter breakup? Revenge point. Oh, no. No. That is illegal. Go on a sex binge. But remember, if you're in Florida and you're going on a cruise for your sex binge, bring an inflatable doll. You may need to use it as a flotation device later. There are 6 of the top answers on the card, by the way. I did ask for logical answers. That's fair. Find a rebound. Nice. I understand the emotion. Like you may want to. I mean, I get that. Buy bigger tires. There's my Spud Hill Farms. The answer to all of life's mysteries are, by the way, buy bigger tires. Buy more Lego is also an acceptable answer. That should be the number 1 for this group. All right. So what might someone do soon after a bitter breakup? Number 7, throw things out. Which now I'm worried because that would include Lego. That's bad. You should sell that. Number 6 is date someone else. Number 4, sorry. There were 6 answers. Number 4 is the incredibly uncool diss them. Who said hook up? Find a rebound? Sashimi me? That's number 3. Hook up. Number 2 is cry. And number 1 is drink. Or for the Black Eyed Peas fans, drank. Crying is good, then ice cream or alcohol, right? You won't, but it definitely... It does happen. I mean, it was on the list. Crying is... I think crying can be cathartic and is probably needed in some of those cases. And I think it's valid for both sides, right? Ben & Jerry's and Agent Prometheus fixed all the holes in your heart. So I understand Agent's role. What was the Ben & Jerry's? Spackle? Just stopped to get fuel on the way home. Got to go back to lurking. Okay. Gas them up and roll them out. Get bigger tires while you're at the gas station. The most common answers. What did I do? Agent, it's a positive. Agent says you didn't do it. Can't prove it. Nice. No spoilers, but I encourage you to check out the New Zealand Lego Masters. Yeah, I think I've managed to watch one so far. I think I saw the first one. I've got to check out the other ones. And just to remind everyone, officially today, it was announced that Brick and Nick from our very own Lego brick building community here on Twitch will be on Lego Masters Season 3 here in the US. Huge props to Nick. Truly, without exaggeration, probably the OG brick building streamer, community builder, whatever you want to call him. Right, officially. So, you know, I think it's been sort of hinted at. It's been going around, but now it's announced and official. You know, it's like league sets. We know they're coming. Yeah, Blasted. Absolutely. 100%. Yep. I think he's doing a stream tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. I'm pretty sure I saw that tweet. Or I'm making things up, which is fair because the internet scares me and sometimes that's how I cope. I don't know. All of a sudden there's a lot of cats in my Twitter feed, so I don't know what's going on. Yeah, they moved it. They moved it. It was originally supposed to be basically Sunday night, this coming Sunday, but they delayed the release until fall. Oh, maybe that's why my Twitter feed's going a trillion miles an hour as it's catching up. But yeah, Twitter's up. Yeah, they moved it to the fall. There was an announcement, about a week ago, I guess, about it moving. So, which is good because that means it's during sweeps now. And a lot more eyeballs are going to be on it, I think. Good for everyone. Certainly good for Nick. I actually found out that in the announcements, someone else I know who's in a group that I'm part of, and I've talked about him here before. It's the minifig package that I get every month. It's basically a little bundle of minifig parts that comes every month. It's a subscription service. One of the members of that community is actually going to be on it too. So it's kind of neat. We seem to be getting more and more acknowledgement of amazing brick builders by both Lego and the nation, really. I mean, we have Nick now, obviously Dan between the bricks. He's on Lego Masters New Zealand currently. So that's great. Obviously, Flynn and Richard, who were part of, the raid train for a while on Tuesdays. I am Billsy, who is still part of the Tuesday raid train. Lots of Lego Master contestants and participants. Very cool stuff. Yeah, I know, Blasted. Waiting till fall kind of sucks. Lego Masters every day on Twitch. Oh, well, thanks. I would say by and large, yeah, this community is full of some pretty amazing people. And to be really, really honest, I think more importantly, I think this community, from a creator standpoint, is supported by some truly amazing people. Because if you guys aren't watching and participating and showing up, this is all kind of sad, to be honest. No, it all kind of, it's like, why do we do it then? So thanks to all of you, we get to do this. And that is wildly appreciated by me. So. Yep. I agree, Deanna. What am I missing? Did I skip a step? 1, 2, 3, 4. No, I didn't. Lots of communities on Twitch are supportive of each other. I don't want to make it sound like, oh, the Lego community is better than anybody. But we are definitely among the most supportive, in my opinion. For whatever that is worth. We are rocking. For those that just showed up, we'll go back over something we did earlier. In the midst of all this building, we never stay on track on this stream. By the way, this stream is like ADHD live. It really is. So this week and throughout the weekend, I'm raising money for St. Jude's. We're trying to raise $500 for St. Jude's Children's Hospital to help find a cure for children's cancers. And one of the milestones we hit earlier today was the $100 milestone, which was to group build a minifig, come up with kind of a custom minifig for the stream. And Bricks O'Brien suggested we build a queen for the alleged upcoming castle set. So we kind of crowdsourced an evil plague doctor from the future wizard queen. And used a bunch of minifigs. She's kind of a little bit of a zombified queen of death with her plague doctor / raven head, her little evil teddy bear. She's got her potion and her book of spells. You're excited for more castle? I'm always in for castle stuff, 100%. Yeah, I liked the pouch. I liked the sewn up dress, the sewn up tear in the dress too. I'm looking forward to the Forestman set. That's the GWP that comes out on the 15th. It's It's kind of like a goth teddy bear. Where is it? He's got little X'd out. You know, one of his eyes is X'd out because he lost the button. The mouth is sort of stitched shut. Why did the GWP say Legoland? Because it's using the retro package naming. There was a point in time where all of the sets with minifigs were part of Legoland. It was kind of the theme. Just like city used to be town. It used to be Legoland Town. Way, way, way back. Shozen, I saw that. The Winnie the Pooh horror movie. In fact, Agent and I were talking about it. It looks like Hotline Miami. It really does. We were talking about that in the movie section of the Discord. Blasted, you too, man. Have a great day tomorrow. Have a great weekend. Hope to see you again. You pop back in. We're here Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday nights from 10 p.m. Eastern until usually 1 or 2 a.m. Eastern time. So we're on kind of late, but we're pretty reliably here. This Saturday, however, I won't be here because I will be on Moore's stream doing his podcast with him. We'll be doing Crossing the Streams Saturday at 10. So make sure you check that out. I'm really looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't think I saw that comment. Or if I did, I just kind of was skimming past before I jumped back online. But you're not wrong, by the way. That's true. It does kind of have that vibe. So the podcast is More and More. He hosts it, and I will be his guest on Saturday. Goddess Ad's dropped the link with the shout out to More and More. It's twitch.tv/more, M-O-R-E, Amor, A-M-O-R. There it is. So, yep, we'll be there on Saturday night. Talking Twitch, talking about content creation and the brick building community, and having a good old time. I hope. I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it. Why can I not find... There it is. A printed mirror tile. Does it actually work? No. 10 p.m. Eastern time, Blasted. 10 p.m. Eastern U.S. time. 7 Pacific. Oops. Should be a lot of fun. Yeah, bring questions, whatever. Whatever you want to talk about. Which, by the way, this is probably a fair comment. For those that are here enough, they already know. But for anybody new dropping in, this is always an AMA stream. I really enjoy, frankly, just chatting with everybody, talking about your days, what's going on, what's happening. So always down to answer questions, share knowledge. Give bad advice. Whatever. Have a good night, Rex. Talk terrible foods. Yes. Talk some of the most unhealthy, but very delicious foods known to man. Which really, isn't that how it tends to work out? The more unhealthy the food, the more delicious. Isn't that like a law? You sugar crashed right after stream off your crumble cookies. I'm so excited that we're getting one. I cannot wait for this place to open. It's going to be all the tasty goodness. This. What's crazy is it is going right next to like one of our newer Chinese restaurants / sushi bar places. So I'm pretty excited. Headed off, Thea. You have a great night. Stay safe, be well. See you on the next one. Agent, I just saw the picture you posted in Just Chatting. That's like, it's like the centerfold, dude. Hey, Mac, I saw that. Is that the one with the whale, like the space whales, right? That's the new one. I saw the patch notes. I didn't read too far down into it. Did I read it correctly? Is that actually a ship you can get? You get like a space whale ship? Oh, Danny, you need to. It's a good game. Unknown yet? Okay. You own it and downloaded it, but haven't played it. That sounds like a Steam primary function, just to buy games and not actually play them. You just never got to play with us? Ah, okay. The onesie. Let's see. I have to take a look at that. Hey, who knows? I end up caving and getting an Oculus. May do it in VR. Seems like a sane and reasonable thing to do. Chase space whales in VR. Perfectly normal behavior. You never know. So we need another one of these. These, where do we go? That. Jacob doesn't realize you're just going to steal his. It's going home. It's coming home. Ready or not. I'm going to assume that's that. This is another one of those times where the instructions really, the angle does not help at all with the build process. But if you had to, then you could play together, and God only knows what other things you could find to do in the metaverse. I'm just putting ideas out there. I'm not responsible for what you choose to do in the metaverse. Yeah, it's this isometric thing. I mean, over 1,000 practice attempts at building Lego so far, there's just angles that are, they're just weird, suboptimal. My least favorite terms. What? Leave Texas? Who would ever leave Texas? It's such a wonderful state. We've had millennia of sexual encounters to perfect it, and we still get angles wrong. But now you get to add a whole new dimension. Suboptimal is generous. I know. Some of them are barely legible. Two, 4, 6, 7, 8. 9. So it is officially, for me at least, Friday. And I am very ready, very, very ready to kick off a holiday weekend. I totally am. I get to do something kind of cool on Sunday. And that is my cousin's son has been training to become an Amtrak conductor, which I think most people don't get, right? How that works or what a conductor actually does. What I've learned as he's been going through this process is it's actually a very challenging job that requires a huge amount of education and knowledge. And the most amazing thing I found out about becoming an Amtrak conductor is that there are a couple of like final exam type tests that you have to take, sort of like getting your pilot's license, right? You have to pass these tests. But one of the amazing things that I found out is there's a railroad signals test and then there's a test on air brakes. And you have to score 100% on both of these tests or you flunk and you have to go back through training. And I think you can only take them like twice. And I think about that and I think that seems to make sense, right? Because you don't want to be the person that scored the 90 on your signals test and screw up the signals when you're dealing with multiple trains on the same track and everything, right? But I think about it and I remember, way back when I was younger and I was going through my pilot's training, there is a written pilot's test, right, of general knowledge. You only need to score about 70%. As long as you're a C student, you can pass the written private test, which I always thought was really weird. I always felt like there should be a higher threshold, shouldn't there, for someone flying a plane? Yeah, no, the written is, as long as you understand basic navigation, I think the navigation questions are the hardest ones on there. But as long as you can get those right, you can pretty much breeze through a written. Understanding airspace is really all it is. Yeah, exactly, Slug. If you screw up the signals test, people will definitely die. And hopefully the check ride catches folks that shouldn't be... Right. But I was just so fascinated by the idea that, as a train conductor, because I never really realized what a train conductor does, right? they're basically responsible for everything that isn't the actual driving of the train. So if somebody's got to back into a siding, you're the guy at the back of the train on the walkie-talkie telling the engineer whether it's safe or the track's clear or the switch is the right way or whatever. So you have to get them right all the time. And they test that way. It's like you can't ever be wrong, because when you're wrong, people die. So I'm really super impressed. He's every little kid loves trains, right? So he's always loved trains all his life, and now he's actually going to go and do the thing. He will be. He's graduated, and on Sunday we're throwing him a party. He will be an Amtrak train conductor, which I think is super cool. Hey, Brick. Having worked for the railroad, the signals are not that complex. I was just more impressed by the idea that it's not so many other transportation jobs. It's, good enough, right? Not perfect. Aircraft 70%. To pass the CDL test, you don't have to get everything on your written correct, right? It's the only transportation test for a professional transportation person that I've ever heard of that you must be flawless. He does get the cap. He gets the cap and the suit, the whole deal. I'm really hoping somebody gives him a pocket watch, because I feel like conductors should have a pocket watch, right? With the chain. Because I'd want to give him a really, really good one. And I couldn't afford it. It's one of those things you need. It needs to be, I say pocket watch, it needs to be a timepiece, You understand the difference? Like, there's pocket watch and then there's a timepiece. You want to see the pocket watch? Right. A chronometer. There you go. Like, serious, it keeps time. Yeah. Just one of those crazy things. Oh, you guys are talking about crosswords? People that can do the New York Times crosswords in 10 minutes, I'm impressed by. I have a friend who can do it. Almost every time, too. And they only do it in pen. Because if you're doing it in pencil, you're basically cheating. Exactly, Matt. They're massive and slow to respond. If you make a mistake, even if you catch it instantly, reversing that mistake and correcting it is virtually impossible. Yeah, Sunday Times is the one they do and pretty much just knock it out, bang, bang, done. I find Thursday to be the hardest because they have stupid meta. Sunday's easy, it's just really large. That's fair. I've never really been a huge fan of crossword puzzles. And I can't tell you why, because I don't know. I just never been high on my list of the types of puzzles that I enjoy. I was never a crossword person, but I'll tell you what, watching Jacob and his best friend do a crossword puzzle together makes you want to get into it. Thursdays are the weird ones. Today wasn't terrible. Friday has hard clues, but nothing really messing with the answers. All right, I kind of like how they're doing these arches for these windows. You just in general want to get better at puzzles and trivia. That's fair. I just enjoy trivia because it makes it feel like all this useless information I've accumulated has value. Even though I know it doesn't. And it's not like I've gone out looking to learn this stuff. It's just pieces of information that just stick in my head and never go away. Nice, we get to step out on the balcony. Through the door, I like it. Kind of a cool, cool penthouse. You got the big console TV, which is very retro. Nice big bed. I'm guessing this is supposed to be kind of a radiator fireplace sort of deal over here in the corner. There's not a lot of detail to it, so I'm just going to make that assumption. We got a bathroom door. We got a stairway door. That's just the living area in the thing. We got a door out to the balcony. Spin these over. Enjoy trivia and puzzles. It's a fun challenge. Some people are really into speed solving the crosswords, but I'd rather just enjoy the solves. 7587. Close. 91,000 squares in a crossword puzzle. 7 foot by 7 foot. Holy crap, Matt. Where was that? I've seen the advertisements for the poster that you can buy that's just a giant crossword puzzle, but I don't think it was that big. That's huge. That's going to take more than 10 minutes. New York Times has done a puzzle pack for Christmas, New Year's the last few years. That one's just a pain because you spend so much time just looking through the clueless to find stuff. Wow. It was certified? Oh, it was certified by the Guinness Book of World. Rick, you and Jacob, sometimes I swear you both say the same things at the same time. We're like, right, we're on the same wavelength. We understand. We're right there. Whoa, wait! The No Man's Sky, the new No Man's Sky expedition has permadeath. When you die, your save gets zeroed out? Oh my god. But because it's an expedition, you have to start on a new save anyway. Right? But still, that's brutal. I can't say I'm a fan of permadeath. I'll grab the trivia in a second here. Don't start the trivia yet. I need it. All right. Tell me when you're ready, Slug. We'll go. If you're halfway through and die, you lose it. Oh, that sucks. I am no fan of permadeath anything. I've always said it feels like permadeath and certain like really like hardcore RPGs and MMOs, it almost feels like their core design is to punish you for trying. And I hate that. There's a bug that will duplicate all your saves? No. Let's fill up the drive. I also find games that have permadeath often feel like they go out of their way to try and kill you. I appreciate, hey, we want to make it challenging, we want to make it hard, we want to make it difficult. It's fine, but you don't have to do permadeath to do that. Permadeath almost at that point feels like a cop-out, right? Because we couldn't make truly challenging mechanics, we made just ridiculous ones and killed you when you failed. It's like the antithesis of gameplay. Exactly. Absolutely agree. It's like you are telling me you don't want me to play your game. That is my perception of permadeath. If your game is designed to frustrate me, why am I playing your game? Being frustrated is not challenging. Shit, a million things a day frustrate me. I can do that on my own, thanks. I don't need to pay $60 for you to do it for me. I got that covered. Yeah, it just sounds right. It sounds like life. But get good, scrub. To which I say, get good, dev. Find a mechanic that isn't a cop-out. I'm going to be like all kinds of unpopular and shit. Watch. What are you talking about? If people play the games, then they must like something. True. And you know, I have played, you know, I mean, I played Final Fantasy XI for entirely too long. And that really is a game where, while not permadeath, it is one where if you try, it will punish you. It used to be, you know, back 2002 when it came out. If you tried to solo at all past like level 5, you were screwed, and you could de-level if you kept trying. So it was definitely a game of punishing you for your efforts. And I played it for a long time. There were things that were fun about it, but it was one of those things where at least it wasn't permadeath, right? It's like if you died, you could still, with the help of friends, get your level back. You could still, you know, level up or whatever. So while challenging and hard, it wasn't completely discouraging. Right. Oh, no, if you want to put a permadeath mode, sure. Don't make that like the core game challenge. Or like with No Man's Sky right now, with what Mech was just saying, don't make that the core of the mechanic. Don't punish me for participating in your event and not, you know, being perfect. To me, that just feels counter to everything. You did, but no, but Deanna's right, Meg. It is a good conversation about is it a valid mechanic? Certainly in No Man's Sky, I understand it a little more because it's not a core mechanic. It's a mechanic of this expedition that's on its own save that doesn't impact the larger, now multi-year investment that most players have in the game. So in that context, I'm a little bit more okay with it. Fragile builds. So frustrating. Where'd it go? Oh, it almost landed in the toilet. It's landed right into crapper. Oops. Why is this now all messed up and weird? Oh. It's still files that can be backed up. That's fair. I mean, yeah, it is. How did I screw this up when it fell apart? Just for me, it's always what was the better game mechanic you could have used that wasn't so anti-player? I always thought it was funny. Like these people that wanted permadeath, open world, PvP, MMOs. Like, have you gone mad? You know? And I would kind of heckle them a little bit and be like, all right, so here's the deal. We'll make it open world PvP with permadeath. But here's the thing. When you die, your account is deleted and you have to go buy a new copy of the game, set up a new account, and start all over. Now does permadeath sound fun? Nobody ever took me up on that, by the way. Nobody. You're back? Okay. Oh, man, you got chocolate cake? I don't have chocolate cake. I did have an ice cream sandwich earlier tonight, though. Oh, that's it. Did you make that? Slug, did you make that cake? That looks good. Yes, you did. Nice. It looks very moist. All right, 80s trivia. Awesome 80s trivia, dude. The soap opera Dynasty made which oversized fashion popular in the 80s? Mocha buttercream frosting. That sounds delicious. Big hair? No. Big hair was already popular in the 80s. Blazers? The soap opera Dynasty made which oversized fashion popular in the 1980s? Chosen says hats. Michael says shoulder pads. Slug says shoulder pads. Matt says hair or shoulder pads. It is shoulder pads. Shoulder pads. Pauldrons. No shit, Fargonaut. They were big enough they could have qualified as pauldrons in many cases. That's true, because they were popular, what, like in the 50s, right? I can see Lauren Bacall in the shoulder pad, like pencil skirt kind of thing. In the 40s. Lauren Bacall, Katharine Hepburn. Was it the Hepburn movie? His Girl Friday? I can just see that outfit. Philadelphia story. Things they don't teach you in school, except possibly in one county in upstate New York. How long does champagne stay bubbly after opened if the bottle is not resealed? How long does champagne stay bubbly after opening the bottle if the bottle is not resealed? Matt says 10 minutes. Matt doesn't need to reseal his bottles because that's about as long as they last. You know this to be true, but the bottle is not resealed. You're not putting anything back in. You're not putting a cork in. You're not putting a temporary stop. Nothing. Spud made it home. Yay. Did you find any larger tires on your way? So according to the card, it's 24 hours. Approximately. I only know what the cards tell me. What percentage of all the scientists who have ever lived are alive today? Your tires are perfect the way they are. I thought we wanted bigger tires. I thought bigger tires was like the everything. I feel kind of misled right now. Matt says 60%. Scientists, yes. What percentage of all the scientists or people who allege to be scientists or who know science or can pronounce science who have ever lived are alive today? Slug says 30%. Most people need bigger tires. I'm already maxed out. Fargonaut says 50%. Matt says 60%. The card says 90%, approximately. Which I guess makes sense. If you think about it a little bit. With these cards, I question the methodology of, like, things they don't teach you in school. How do they know? Question the name of the game. This is interesting. Do you burn fat if you sweat in a sauna? I do not want to be a customer service rep at a company that makes trivia games if Slug calls. I'm going to quit. That is definitely a let me speak to your supervisor call I will not be taking. She would be very polite, but they would be completely unanswerable questions. There would be like, what am I going to do? It would be totally off script. Like there'd be nothing written for these poor people. Do you burn fat if you sweat in a sauna? No, you don't. It's just water. Yeah, you're just sweating. You're not burning any calories. She would probably entertain the rep greatly. That's fair. Ooh. How long ago was the term America first used? Mind you, I said America, not America. America. $300 years. Matt says 300 years. Slug says 300 years. This is also going to be informative from the standpoint of how old are these cards. Or at least how old some of the questions are. Slug and Matt say 300 years. Michael says 400 years. United States of America in 1776, so it must have been in use for a while before then. Brick Girl says 200 years. Spud, are you saying since the 1800s or 1800 years ago? Shozen's paying attention. Fargonaut says 530. Vespucci sailed in 1500. So the answer is over 500 years ago. It was first sighted in 1507 on a world map. 500 years. Yep. That was the first map on which it appeared, apparently. Now to the pursuit of wildly outdated trivia. You try to remember that for Jeopardy. Suck, have you ever taken the Jeopardy test? I'm curious. I have a few friends that have, and they've passed, but they've never been called. Every map before that, the world was flat. Matt, I got news for you. Every map since then has also been flat. You've gone as far as the interview process? That's cool. Fargonaut, you didn't know there was a test? Yeah, you can do a test. You can do them online now. So one of the devs, actually, the dev basically responsible for all the storylines in the Lord of the Rings Online, he passed. And I think he went for an interview. I don't know where that all went because I left prior to the resolution of that. And a friend of mine of many, many years has also passed. He's passed it twice and never gotten past the interview process. Yeah, they only now that it feels like since the pandemic, it seems that they push it more. I've noticed Jeopardy now pushes that online test. You can't long form read on a computer. I don't know. Jeopardy questions are kind of short. Could you read multiple short things? All right, geography. What city is home to the Mayo Clinic? Your eyes burn out trying to read very much. What city and state, please, is home to the Mayo Clinic? Somewhere in Minnesota, eh? Yeah, Minnesota. The city in Minnesota is which? Fargonaut says Rochester. Next is Rochester, which is correct. Rochester, Minnesota. In entertainment, I haven't thought about these guys in a while. In entertainment, who backed up Sam the Sham? That's okay. We don't mark down for punctuation, Fargo. Your wife had her appendix out at the clinic, and really? The pickles. Well, it's not the Wiggles. A Cadillac. Who backed up Sam the Sham? Obviously, it's a group. It's a musical group. She lived in Rochester and went to college near there, so it makes... That's fair. A Cadillac. The pickles. I know. I love the answer. I'll play my phone a friend card.
Welcome.
The Pharaohs. Sam the Sham and the Pharaohs. Sam the Sham, wow. Chosen is awarded 1 million internet points for best answer. That's really good. Not backed over. No, like backup singers, like a backup group. But I will accept Cadillac. History. What does Lloyd's lutein bell announce? Kind of got to think about this one. What does Lloyd's lutein bell announce? Spud says supper. Slug says a ship made it back safely. Chosen says auctions. So Slug was really close, just the opposite. The bell announces a lost or overdue ship. Lloyd's of London, the insurance company. Yep, ship sank or is lost or overdue. Yeah, what does Lloyd's lutein bell ringing mean? What does it announce? The loss of a ship. Since, for most of its history, Lloyd's of London has been the largest insurer of maritime vessels. In arts and literature, who wrote Funeral in Berlin? Who wrote Funeral in Berlin? Not as Meg taking too much damage. No, it was not a Ninjago question, but bonus points. Bonus points for thinking it was. The person who wrote the story Cabaret was based on? Who wrote Funeral in Berlin? The answer is Len Dayton. 70-85. Close, Matt. Close. Close. Like that much. Not the same person? See, I don't know who wrote Cabaret. Science and nature. What is impossible to keep open while sneezing? This is kind of easy. What is impossible to keep open while sneezing? Yeah, this one's really easy. Everybody gets it. 1,000,000 points to everyone. Eyes. Oh my god. Oh! Deanna, bankruptcy. My day is complete. I would have to say that bet was unwise. Sports and leisure. What is the most common nickname of U.S. college football teams? The most common nickname of U.S. college football teams. Wheel of failure. Wheel of fish. That actually sounds like a game you'd find on like the Outdoor Channel, right? Wheel of fish. Rough Riders? Eagles? See, that shows that would have been my thought. Eagles would have been my guess. Slug says probably some animal. Yes? But you're actually right, Slug Biker. Tigers. Tiger is the most common American collegiate sports team name. Tigers. The Tigers. Yeah. No, it really is. All right, let's see. These are good. These were clearly designed for us. Right? I mean, the American tiger is the most common animal in North America. Oh, no, I'm sorry. That's the American cougar. Let y'all work it out. Time for the feud. Top 7 answers are on the car. Just call me out. All right. All right, Deanna, you want me to call you out? Name something that takes longer to do the older you get. This one's not really all that late night poop. That's an absence of fiber. I don't think that's age related as much as fiber related. Mop the floor. Go to the bathroom. Most things. I think Brick Girl pretty much nailed it. Stand up. No shit. Get up, wake up, urinate. Get up, down the stairs. Anything takes longer. No shit. We're all freaking old. Everything takes longer. I tried to breathe yesterday. Took 5 minutes. Shitting also takes longer. Leave the house. All right. Top 7 answers for name something that takes longer to do the older you get. Number 7 is urinate. Number 6 is run. Who the frick runs when you're old? Nobody runs. You're just risking death at that point. Nobody frickin' runs when they're old. Clean the house is number 5. Number 4 is climb the stairs. No one runs when they're over 40. Exactly, Slug. Number 3 is get up or get out of bed. Number 2 is walk. That one sounds accurate. Walking takes a lot longer when you get older. Who cleans the house, right? Spud cleans the house 10 times a day, and she mows the lawn like 14 times a day. And the number 1 answer for name something that takes longer to do the older you get dressed. Because I can just never find my pants. And I think that's more pandemic than age related. It's longer to get dressed. Getting dressed doesn't take much longer. I mean, there's not much to it. I don't know. Maybe that's an over 60 thing. I don't know. I have not encountered that one. I'm less motivated to get dressed. But I think that's more of a function that it takes longer to get out of bed. I think somebody started the stopwatch while still in bed. I think that's the problem with that one. Trying to find those 2 pairs of outside pants does take time. All right, here we go. This one's still not after dark, late night, or whatever, but it could be. It could be taken that way. The public pants. That's what the special chair is for. Okay, so now that we've all had trouble getting dressed, what article of clothing do you take off first? What's the first article of clothing you take off when getting undressed? Top 5 answers. Whoa, wait, back the fuck up. Bra is first? You do that whole, like, that thing? Pants. Nice. That's mad skills. Boots, coat, pants, socks. Wait, how do you take socks off first? What kind of crazy messed up feet you got? Who wears a bra anymore? Right? But shoes, socks normally. Who wears shoes? That's fair. Me and my bare feet. Wife does the same thing. Gets in the door and poof. Gotta love the magic tricks. You definitely still wear shoes. I wear shoes when I leave the house. I leave the house when I can find my pants. Only one shoe. Ministream goes online, Brogon. That should be a redeem. I mean, it's basically a magic trick. It can't possibly be against terms of service. Shoes are harder to find than your outdoor pants. I love that you have outdoor. So do you? I'm guessing you have indoor pants. Are we gonna have the pajama bottoms conversation? Don't wear pajama bottoms in car. Indoor pants are pants. Work pants. Okay. Outdoor pants are public pants. Public pants just feels like anybody could wear them, and it kind of creeps me out. Indoor pants are the sweats and fleece pants that are primarily leg coverings. Well, I mean, for me, like what I'm wearing right now are definitely indoor pants, but they're not leg coverings. I mean, I could break toss right now and bust out a naked kneecap, you know? Public pants. Our dog gets upset when we put on outside legs. Do you really? Does he really? Is it upset or excited because he thinks he's going? I don't even wear PJs outside my bedroom. Public is anywhere downstairs. It's not that warm here yet. Upset. Wow. Is it like a separation anxiety thing? He thinks he's getting abandoned. You're gonna ditch him. I wonder how many people's pets are like that now because they haven't left in so long. To where now the idea of them leaving the house is upsetting to them. All right, so top 5 answers. Number 5, what article of clothing do you take off first? Number 5 is socks. How the frack are you taking off your socks first? People pulling magic tricks, I swear. Number 4 is bra. Number 3 is pants. Number 2 is shoes because there are still sane, rational people in this world. Right? Some topological magic. No shit. Number 1 is shirt or blouse. Shoes aren't actually clothing. They're more outerwear. Yeah, but so are pants. And I can prove that because if pants are not outerwear, then why the fuck do we call them underwear? If you have underwear, anything after that is outerwear by definition. I don't even own socks. Coat is not on the list, no. Apparently, all of these people live on tropical islands because it's shirt, shoes, pants, bra, socks. Well, I mean, it was the least common answer, but for 5 people, it was still the first thing they take off. I demand a YouTube video. Or it was summer when the question was asked. That's fair. Yeah, I would agree. Coat would be first. It's not a new quiz, otherwise mask would be number 1. It's fairly new. This is the one that had Trump as an answer. Shoes actually a cast saddle. Master off of the car. It really depends on how much clothing is being worn. You never wear a coat? I mean, it's got to be pretty cold for me to wear a coat. I may wear a light jacket. And unless I have to go out like in the winter, like in January when it's like 0 outside or sub-zero, then I will. But it's got to get way below 30 before I start thinking coat. They pulled Florida, folks. Speaking of which, let's see what those Florida folks are up to. Florida man. All right. 3 headlines, 2 are true, 1 is false. Here we go. You wear a cap when you go out, keeps the rain off glasses. That's smart. A. Florida man claiming to be Teddy Roosevelt's relative banned from Holiday Inn after threatening to hit manager. So I just want to point out, it involves a Holiday Inn, and I'm here for it. Because I feel like Holiday Inn is like the hotel that time forgot. B. Florida woman burns down world's oldest cypress tree. Why not? They're burning pot like crazy. Or C. Florida man pulls out his own teeth believing Russian government is spying on him through his fillings. I don't even have a response. Yeah, the pot burning was real, exactly. They're all believable. That's the problem. They're all believable. B, because please you hope that didn't happen. That's the Florida woman burns down world's oldest cypress tree. Brick Girl says A, Florida man claiming to be Teddy Roosevelt's relative banned from Holiday Inn after threatening to hit manager. Brick Girl says that one's false. Matt says Florida man pulls out his own teeth believing Russian government is spying on him through his fillings is false. So in this instance, Matt is right. C, Florida man pulls out his own teeth believing Russian government is spying on him through his fillings is false. A, Florida man claiming to be Teddy Roosevelt's relative banned from Holiday Inn after threatening to hit manager is true. And very sadly, B, Florida woman burns down world's oldest cypress tree is also true. You want to see? Had it said Florida man pulls out own teeth believing Hillary Clinton is spying on him through his fillings, I would have bought that in a friggin' heartbeat. That I would have believed. In the blink of an eye. You ever try to pull out? I mean, like when I was 8 and I had a loose tooth, and even then it was kind of hard. And that sucker was supposed to come out. You could do it, I guess, with a pair of pliers, though, right? I mean, you know, how determined are you? I think that's the operative question. How bad do you want it? It would be true if they were false teeth. Yeah, I don't think you could get the right leverage. You're at the wrong angle to pull out your own. I think there would be a leverage issue. Such a weird thing to think about, though. It hurts. I mean, it hurts, period. I mean, having a tooth pull is not a pleasant experience either way, whether you do it or someone else. The Irish mob would take out your teeth before killing you? That sucks. The before killing you part. Doesn't sound like a fun time. I think the goal was to prevent identification. I think doing it before they killed you was to be mean. So I think both things can be true. Because the whole pull the teeth out, chop the hands off thing that's kind of a long-standing mob tradition, regardless of which mob you're talking about. You were high as a kite when they did yours and thought it was funny, your wisdom teeth? Well, I mean, that's different. It took surprisingly little force that you can remember. Sometimes people get lucky. I always feel bad for the people with impacted wisdom teeth or wisdom teeth that have grown in like sort of in an angle, because then you're in for nightmare times. You had cysts around yours? Ouch. And it was bad. You had them knock you out? It was cake? Yeah, I had 4 teeth pulled when I was little, like 12 or 13. And they did the same thing. They just knocked me out. I woke up and was like, okay. Orthodontist said you should have them out before they become a problem. That was decades ago and you still have them. Sometimes they don't. I mean, that's just the fact. I mean, the odds are they will, but sometimes they don't. Sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you get unlucky. I've had friends that have had to go, because they didn't have them out when they were younger and get them when they were older. And it was like, excavations into their jaw to get them out. Your sinuses and since you had your wisdom teeth out, Deanna, your sinuses have never been the same? You remember you were waiting for him to pull the teeth out and you said, okay, you can go. Wow, that is good. You get really lucky, Spud. I had to go through my sinuses because of infections. Oof. It was bad. Yeah, I guess. That's kind of scary. Thinking about it. Kind of makes me think of a friend of mine right now who just got out of the ICU after major surgery. She had cancer in her soft palate and upper jaw, so they removed her entire upper jaw, which is really kind of like the base of your skull, and took bones from her calf and thigh bones and reshaped and rebuilt an upper jaw for her. Yeah, I mean, it's horrible, but when you think about the science end of it and the fact that we have the ability to do that, it's amazing. It's crazy. Your widescreen monitor is really wide, like entire field of vision wide, almost like it's like on your face. Stop calling me fat. More like double field of view. Science is amazing. Now we know what all the scientists are doing, right? My 49-inch monitor is really wide too, almost like it's your whole field of vision. I was in Best Buy maybe a month ago, and I saw one of those, and you're right. It's like if you're sitting at normal distance, it really does feel like it's just everywhere. It was pretty impressive. What were you playing, Agent? What was trippy? A 43-inch 4K TV makes a great computer. Yes, it does. Games just aren't made to be that wide. You were remotely using your desktop in VR? Yikes. You've been up since 9 a.m. Eastern time? Holy crap, Mech. Have a good night. Go get some sleep. Stayed up late last night watching B2B, was able to sleep in, so it worked out. That's good. Guess this goes here. In the corner. Of course, now you're staying up late again, so I'll just suffer a little tomorrow. Well, I won't keep you up much later. I'm just going to finish off this bag before we cruise out. Hey, Dream. How are you? It's been a minute. What you been up to? Florida man being Florida man time. All right, here we go. Florida man. 3 headlines, 2 are true, 1 is false. A. Florida man rips urinal off bathroom wall, runs naked out of restaurant into woods. I mean, that's just like a Saturday. B. Florida man arrested for running illegal snake fighting ring. I got $5 on the Diamondback. You drop the kids off at your mom's today so you can sleep in tomorrow? Nice. And C, Florida man takes $4,000 worth of chicken and ribs from restaurant. No barbecue sauce? That sounds fake. You've done A. What's so special about it? Dream says A. Brick Girl says B. Deanna says A. Matt says A. It seems like a lot of people think Florida man rips urinal off bathroom wall, runs naked out of restaurant into woods, is the lie. When in reality, it's true. A is true. Urinal thieves in Florida. What are you going to do? It's not a lie. It's just not news, right? You're 0 for 4 today, Slug? Uh-oh. All right. Brick Girl says B. Spud says C. So, Florida man takes $4,000 worth of chicken and ribs from restaurant, which is C, is true, Spud. Somebody raided the walk-in. That leaves B. Florida man arrested for running illegal snake fighting ring is the lie, and damn it, that's the one I really wanted to be true. Because I want somebody to do a documentary on that. Florida's illegal snake fighting rings, shady characters, imported animals, and the ecological disaster in the Everglades. Come on. Writes itself. Maybe snake fighting is in Florida. It could be. I don't know. You make a valid case. Cobra King. I wanted B to be true, even though I know snakes don't really fight, right? Oh, well. We can't always get what we want. But that would have been epic. The Florida snake fighting ring. Because that's when you know shows up like at 3 in the morning in Investigation Discovery, right? Cobra chickens fight. That's true. They're nasty too. They're like down and dirty animals. In the immortal words of Mick Jagger, oh no. A Florida snake fighting ring is Florida man fighting pet pythons. Sure, why not? Sounds legit. Can't always get what you want, says Mickey. Nice drawer pulls with the pneumatic tubes. Clever. When I was growing up, we used to have a place called, what is it? The Miami Serpentarium is what it was called. And it was basically a guy named Bill Haas, who was world renowned because he did more research into snake venom and anti-venom than pretty much anybody in the world. But one of the ways he funded his research was he had the Miami Serpentarium, which featured, you know, the labs and everything that he used to do his research, but it also did pretty good business from people coming in to watch the snake milking, which is venom milking, really, that they would do every day to get the venom they need to make anti-venom and do all the tests and stuff. And it was really pretty interesting. He also, at one point, I think, held the record for the most snake bites of any person. He had been bitten more times. They did collect and sell venom. Yep, for the manufacture of anti-venom. Exactly, Slug. To the point where a lot of times, if people in South Florida were snake bit, they actually just called Bill in, and he would basically give transfusions because he reached a point where his blood, more or less, was anti-venom. Yeah, it was pretty crazy. And it was one of those places where, you know, growing up in South Florida, you would go on a field trip as a kid. It was absolutely fascinating, to say the very least. Yeah, it was. And when he passed and they sold it off, one of the Miami High Cobras. So the Serpentarium had this huge cobra that would stick out of its roof, right? And it ended up going to South Miami High, which were, you know, the Cobras. And it was destroyed in transit. It was so old. It had been in the Florida sun for so long that it basically disintegrated when they tried to move it. But it was like right on a major thoroughfare. So when you drive through parts of Coral Gables, you could just see it. It was just there, you know? And you drive by it and people be like, what the hell is that? It's like, that's the Miami Serpentarium. He was kind of a crazy dude too. Not gonna lie. All right. The Fancy Pants Penthouse has a very nice wardrobe, through which I imagine you could find probably, I don't know, a lion, maybe even a witch. So that's third floor done. And we're still not done. This really is like a really big build. So there's one bag left, which is really 2 bags. I'll probably finish it up tomorrow during lunch or something. Definitely a lamppost. So there's 3 stories. This is a corner modular, by the way. So I'll put it up. We'll do this. We'll face cam it. So here's the completed. I grabbed it by the dumpster. There's a dumpster out back. With a little garbage box. You've got the little patio for drinks. Is the pink thing a settee or a bathtub? In the top here? On the top floor? Let's see. This? So it's a bathtub. It's got faucet. There's the sink. There's a mirror over it. There's 2 hotel provided stuff, right? Like shampoo and body lotion. There's a toilet. There's the gold-plated toilet holder with a roll of toilet paper on it. Bed with chocolates, pillows, couple of nice tables with lamps on them. If I can get this turned the right way. There's another lamp over here. There's a little television. So there's an old-style console television, lamp with a bottle on it. There's a nice little recliner there. That's the top floor. And then, of course, is there a bidet? I don't know. I mean, there's the everything. It's kind of an uncomfortable placement of the toilet near that window, though. So then there's the standard hotel rooms with 2 more beds. Down here, and a nice desk with a nice lamp. This is clearly the budget room over here. It's very small, kind of plain furniture. I love the design of the chair in that room, though. The steps up. I like this. So this chair here, because it rotates, and you're in the main window there, which is kind of cool. And then there's the lobby. The only question is, again, the bellhop comes equipped with the luggage cart. There is no elevator in this hotel. So I don't know how he's getting that thing up 3 flights of stairs. Is it? I mean, there isn't another bathroom in the other rooms. Maybe it's down. Yeah. I doubt the penthouse has the shared bathroom, because you come up the stairs, right? And you're in this person's room to get to the bathroom. I think this is the private bathroom, and everybody else better have fun at the beach. You always like to stay in the cheapest rooms at nice places. You get all the amenities, and you only sleep. Right, exactly. You're not on vacation to spend time in the hotel. You're there to do all the other things. And then also this comes off, and there's a small art gallery in here. What I love about the modulars, probably more than any Lego sets, is the storytelling that goes with them. So one of the guests at the hotel is this guy, right? He is an auditor. He is here to audit the sale of the art from the art showroom, But he is also, according to the little story in the instructions, he is also here to investigate financial irregularities at the Brick Bank, which is an earlier module in the series. And if you've ever built the Brick Bank, you know that there's a laundromat next to the Brick Bank, and there is a literal money laundering operation going on. They're smuggling money out through the washers and dryers in the laundromat. So he is actually here very quietly to investigate the money laundering going on at the Brick Bank down the street. So all of the modulars have these stories in them, and some of them tie in together like that. And I think it's really cool on the part of the Lego team and the Lego designers to just kind of keep building on the stories. Yeah, and it's very literal. They're doing it through the laundromat, through the washers. It's really cute. It's the Monopoly, dude. That's what I think. And then, of course, it just has really unique architecture, right? It's got that... I keep wanting to say it feels Caribbean, but really it feels kind of Spanish, right? And I think the fact that there's some Picasso art in the museum is suggesting that it's sort of southern Spain with maybe a little Moorish kind of vibe going on. So I'm going to slide this over here. I'm going to put the street lamp back, which I just knocked off. I'm just going to go back really quick. So, I mean, here's the roof build. So, like I said, I'll probably kick this out tomorrow during my lunch. There's some nice architectural features. It looks like there's a little cafe because there's an espresso machine. So up on the roof, I guess you have a little cafe. There's a skylight for here. Oh, there's a cart. There's an espresso cart that goes outside. Nice. So like I was saying with the stories, when you go through with the modulars, you'll find on some of the pages, you'll find little story blurbs that'll tell you kind of what's going on. Sometimes they're around the introductions of minifigs. Sometimes they're not. I think there was one in bag 12, wasn't there? I think it was on this side. Or maybe it was 11. There you go. So it just calls out the fact that the lampshades here were originally from a Friends set. And then usually when they introduce Moopish, it's Moopish. Yeah, so like here's where we built the tourist lady. It says, the Globetrotter's been all over the world, but always loves to come back to the boutique hotel for a relaxing stay. So she's a repeat visitor to the hotel. So that probably explains why they put her up here in the penthouse, right? She got that frequent traveler VIP status, so she got the suite upgrade. And we have probably, I'm guessing the bowler hat guy was the last kind of story piece in here. The boutique hotel looks like One Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills. Yeah, I have actually. It does have kind of that vibe to it. I have actually stayed on Rodeo Drive in Beverly Hills once for a work event. The wrought iron gate first appeared in the 10190 Market Street set and was notable for its use of minifigure whips to make organic curling curves. So it's kind of this build they're referring to. She looks nothing like Curly Neal or Meadowlark Lemon. Nope. Does not. Yeah, see, and for the palm tree over here, the elements used to make the trunk of the palm tree first appeared as the crown of Queen Whatever I Want to Be from the Lego Movie 2. So these pieces. So it's kind of neat they put these little histories in there and little notes about elements and story. And they do it with every one of the modular sets. And if you don't know, there are a lot of modular sets at this time. This is actually, I think it's the 15th anniversary set. So it says, welcome to the beautiful historic boutique hotel inspired by turn-of-the-century European architecture. The unique wedge-shaped structure showcases a myriad of elegant forms and delicate details. It's also packed with small stories and subtle references to earlier models in the modular building range. And it is the 15th anniversary set, the 15th anniversary of the modular series. So the first bell person looking for things to do during your stay, just ask the receptionist about her favorite shop within the 10 to 11 Grand Emporium set, or the best meal at Chez Herbert, which is the Parisian restaurant. So it ties back, that makes 3 different modular sets that this set specifically references: the Grand Emporium and the Parisian restaurant. Which, if you've watched either season of Lego Masters US, Brickmaster Jamie designed the Parisian. He's designed several of the modulars. So with our other guy here, it's the bellhop will happily help carry your luggage to the hotel's stairs to your room. Don't forget to give him a tip, or he may drop stuff. It's nice the Globetrotters have female players. It is. They actually have a really cool lineup now. Right, so the dumpster out back has a white croissant in it. And the croissant was originally made for the Parisian restaurant 10243 set. But why would anyone want a moldy white croissant? So it's in the dumpster out back. Because it's actually used as in part of the architecture of the Parisian. And it ties all of the city elements together when they do this, in my opinion. Many of the guests who've stayed in this hotel are residents of earlier modular sets. Can you identify them? So there's a register on the front desk, with the names of characters that were in other modular sets. How could a croissant become moldy? It's so unreal, right? They never last long enough to get moldy. They never last long enough to get cool in this house. See, and then just another reference. The receptionist enjoys calling her friend the lieutenant from the 10278 police station set on the phone, which, of course, the police station was the previous year. Eat them or freeze them. They're not molding, right? They're not going to last long enough to gather mold or turn white or do any of those other weird things. Yeah, that's why I really enjoy modulars. Is they tell a story. There's a great story in the detective set, the detective's office, about cookie thieves. Who the designer was for some of the art pieces that are in the gallery, and the Lego designer, not what the art's kind of like based off of. So the backpack traveler, one of the other minifigs here, is traveling the world, and she's doing it on a budget. So she's staying in the hotel's economy room, which was the small room down here that I was showing you, that just has really plain Jane. So there's even a story as to why the hotel has different kinds of room. Cookie thieves? Oh, there's a lot of cute stories like that. But there's a whole cookie smuggling ring going on in Lego City in the modulars. It's a very big deal. A very big deal indeed. So, and with that, I'm going to call it a night. So don't forget our queen. We'll be ready for her for the next stream. Maybe we'll build a go-kart next time we get there. Thanks, everyone, for hanging. Thanks for all the subs. Thanks for all the gifted subs. Deanna Agent, thank you for that. Thank you for just hanging out, playing some trivia, being concerned about Florida Man and what the hell is real and what's not. Building the modular, doing good things. I think we're going to do... Hang on a second. Okay. There you go. Yep, for those that missed it or need a reminder, we are doing a fundraiser all weekend long. I'll be doing it through Monday. For St. Jude's Children's Hospital, who basically treat kids with cancer absolutely cost-free to their parents. They also do a ton of research, cancer research, to find cures and to find treatments that improve the odds of children surviving childhood cancers. So if you do have the ability and would like to contribute towards our $500 goal, it would be greatly appreciated. There are, on the page that you go to with that link, there are some examples. For example, $10 buys a toy for the child. There are some other examples. If you donate $60, St. Jude will actually send you a thank you set of stickers. So whatever you can afford and feel is appropriate, that is great. If you're in, and so many people are with the economy the way it is, if you're in financial straits and that's not an option for you, just sharing the news, that, hey, if you've got the ability, if you've got the means, St. Jude's is a really great charity to support. That helps too. Just putting the word out. I think we're going to do something different tonight for a raid. I think we're going to go raid Sharp Balloons. Let me see if she's... I want to see if she's still doing stuff, or if she's getting ready to finish up. I don't think she's going to finish up because she's only been on for a couple hours. If you've never seen Sharp Balloons, her stuff is really, really cool.
Thank you.
Spud, thank you for donating $20 to St. Jude's. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. We're that much closer to the go-kart build. We get to, what did I say it was? $250? And we're going to do a little custom go-kart build. We'll do it by committee, just like we did with our Nightmare Queen over here. So we'll do that at $250. Your luggage collaborating with Fairy Bricks for local St. Jude's. Nice. The Benehoff Children's Hospital. That's very cool. Very cool. Thanks again. I appreciate that, Spud. So, everybody likes balloon animals, right? So that's kind of Sharp Balloon's thing. She's really cool. She's really funny. She's a lot of fun to watch. She is an absolute master with balloon animals. So we're going to go check her out. In the meantime, have a great night. Stay safe. Be well. Enjoy your weekend. Don't forget, Saturday night, 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time, I will be on Mora Moore's channel, recording his podcasts, Crossing the Streams. It's going to be so much fun. I am really looking forward to it. If you can make it, please drop in, see what it's all about, and give it a listen. I think it's going to be fun. And you can also find, if you want the back catalog that he's done. He's done 15 or 16 of these already. You can find him on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all those places. He's gone through quite a number of the brick building community and interviewed him. Very good stuff, very insightful stuff. So hopefully we see you on Saturday on Crossing the Streams. Have a good night.